Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're tackling a topic that's both timely and deeply personal for millions of people across the United States and around the world. Immigration has always been at the heart of the American story. For generations, people from every corner of the globe have come here seeking opportunity, safety, and a better life for their families. The image of America as a land of hope and promise is iconic, and for many, it's what makes this country unique. You might think a nation built by immigrants would keep welcoming them with open arms, but the reality is far more complicated. In recent years, the landscape has shifted dramatically. Some states are rolling out the welcome mat, while others are putting up barriers, both visible and invisible. Today, we're diving into the top 10 states where immigrants are finding it harder than ever to exist, let alone thrive. These are places where new laws, changing attitudes, and increased enforcement are making daily life more challenging for newcomers and longtime residents alike. This isn't just about the heartwarming Statue of Liberty poems we all learned in school versus the harsh realities of detention centers. It's about a complex web of policies, local decisions, and shifting public sentiment that's reshaping what it means to be an immigrant in America today. From stricter ID requirements and limited access to public services, to aggressive law enforcement and even outright bans on certain types of support, these states are sending a clear message. Immigrants are not as welcome as they once were. The reasons behind these changes are varied. Politics, economics, and social pressures all play a role. Think of this as a countdown of legislative inhospitality, a look at the places where the American dream is becoming harder to reach for those who weren't born here. We'll break down the policies, the numbers, and the real-life impact on families and communities. If this makes you see why some people feel unwelcome, be sure to like and subscribe. Your support helps us shine a light on these important issues. Let's get started and see which states are making it toughest for immigrants in 2024. Number 10 is Alabama. First up is Alabama, a state known for its rich history, Southern hospitality, and the iconic anthem, Sweet Home Alabama. But beneath the surface, not everyone feels that warmth or welcome. For many immigrant families, Alabama can feel like a place where the doors are closed and the welcome mat has been pulled away. The sense of uncertainty and isolation is palpable, especially for those who simply want to build a better life for their children. In 2011, Alabama passed one of the harshest immigration laws in the country, HB 56. This law didn't just target undocumented immigrants, it sent shockwaves through entire communities. It made it a crime to transport or harbor undocumented people, turning everyday acts of kindness or necessity into potential felonies. Schools were required to check the immigration status of students' parents, creating fear and confusion among families. Many parents worried that sending their children to school could put their entire family at risk, leading to drops in attendance and a climate of suspicion. The law also barred undocumented people from entering into contracts, making it nearly impossible to rent a home, sign up for utilities, or even get basic services. Everyday life became a legal minefield, with paperwork and bureaucracy standing in the way of stability. Although parts of HB 56 have been challenged and struck down in court, the chilling effect remains. Fear lingers in neighborhoods, and many families still feel the weight of uncertainty pressing down on them. Imagine living in a place where you're afraid your landlord, your boss, or even a trip to the DMV could put your family in jeopardy. The threat of being reported or losing your home or job is a constant shadow, making daily life a struggle. When laws make it nearly impossible for people to live and work, the consequences ripple out. Businesses lose workers, communities lose neighbors, and children lose their sense of safety. Instead of solving problems, these policies create new ones, driving people into the shadows and weakening the fabric of the community. Alabama's message is clear. Not everyone is welcome. For many, the promise of a better life is met with closed doors and cold shoulders, leaving them to wonder if there's any place left to call home. Number 9 is Arizona. Next is Arizona, famous for its controversial immigration laws. Remember SB 1070? The Show Me Your Papers law turned local police into immigration officers, requiring them to check status if they had reasonable suspicion. Reasonable suspicion is a slippery slope, especially with race and ethnicity involved. The fallout? Businesses closed, tourism dropped, and lawsuits piled up. While parts of the law were struck down, the damage to Arizona's reputation was done. Laws based on fear and prejudice don't just target individuals, they undermine society. Arizona became a cautionary tale. Number 8 is Florida. Now to Florida, where SB 1718 mandates businesses use E-Verify to check employment eligibility. It sounds simple, but for undocumented workers who've contributed for years, it means sudden job loss and instability. Laws like this create chaos in real life, not just in campaign ads. In Florida the sun shines, but not for everyone. Number 7 is Texas. Texas takes a hold my beer approach to immigration enforcement. Operation Lone Star turned the border into a militarized zone with National Guard troops and razor wire. The result? A humanitarian crisis and massive taxpayer costs. Texas also passed laws allowing arrests for transporting undocumented immigrants and tried to let local police enforce federal laws. It's hard to tell if they're deterring immigrants or preparing for an invasion. The impact is felt far beyond the border. Number 6 is Georgia. Georgia, known for peaches and pecans, also has HB 87, a law requiring employers to use E-Verify and letting police check immigration status on reasonable suspicion. It's Arizona's SB 1070 with a southern accent. The law's reach goes beyond the workplace, affecting daily life for many. Reasonable suspicion opens the door to profiling and fear. Georgia's consistency in making life hard for immigrants is, unfortunately, impressive. The message, contribute all you want, but you're never really safe. For many, Georgia's hospitality stops at the border. Number 5 is Tennessee. Tennessee, famous for music and whiskey, also has laws requiring local police to cooperate with federal immigration authorities. In practice, this has led to racial profiling and deportations for minor infractions. A broken taillight can mean deportation proceedings. In Tennessee, hospitality has its limits. Number 4 is South Carolina. South Carolina's SB 20 requires police to check immigration status on reasonable suspicion and makes it a crime to transport or harbor undocumented immigrants. Businesses must use E-Verify for new hires. The state's motto could be, while I breathe, I suspect. Suspicion, not welcome, is the rule. Number 3 is Oklahoma. Oklahoma's HB 1804 makes it a crime to transport, harbor, or employ undocumented immigrants. It also denies access to public benefits, driver's licenses, and in-state tuition. The law pushes people underground, not out of the state. Deterring immigrants this way rarely leads to a healthy society. Oklahoma's approach is more about exclusion than solutions. Number 2 is Mississippi. Mississippi's HB 488 requires police to check immigration status on reasonable suspicion and makes it a crime to transport or harbor undocumented immigrants. It even invalidates contracts with undocumented people. The state's motto might as well be by suspicion and fear. Mississippi's blues aren't just musical, they're legal. Number 1 is Arkansas. Arkansas wraps up our list with laws blocking sanctuary cities and requiring E-Verify for new hires. Act 746 prevents local communities from limiting cooperation with federal immigration authorities. They've even tried to deny birthright citizenship to children of undocumented immigrants. In Arkansas, the land of opportunity comes with a lot of fine print. That's our tour of the top 10 states where immigrants face an uphill battle. Each of these states tells a unique story, stories of hope, resilience, and unfortunately, struggle. For many newcomers, the American dream is clouded by policies and attitudes that make daily life more difficult. But even in the face of adversity, immigrants continue to contribute to their communities, working hard to build better lives for themselves and their families. From Alabama to Arkansas, fear and political opportunism have created a hostile environment. In these places, laws are often passed that make it harder for immigrants to access basic services, find stable work, or feel safe in their own neighborhoods. The rhetoric can be harsh and the consequences are real. Families separated, children growing up in uncertainty, and communities divided by suspicion and misinformation. The promise of America as a nation of immigrants is under threat. The ideals that once welcomed people from all over the world are being tested. Yet, the spirit of those who seek a better life here remains strong. The American flag still waves as a symbol of hope, even as debates rage on about who belongs and who gets to call this country home. The fight for immigrant rights continues, but there's a long way to go. Across the country, advocates and allies are standing up, organizing marches, and demanding change. They remind us that the story of America is still being written and that it's up to all of us to decide what kind of nation we want to be. Progress is possible, but it requires empathy, understanding, and a willingness to listen to those whose voices are too often ignored. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Your engagement helps us bring more stories like these to light, and your voice matters in this ongoing conversation. Whether you're an immigrant yourself, the child of immigrants, or simply someone who cares about justice and equality, your perspective is valuable. Let's try to keep it civil. We're all in this together. Open dialogue and respectful debate are the foundations of a healthy democracy. By listening to each other and sharing our experiences, we can bridge divides and find common ground, even when we disagree. Until next time, stay informed, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep seeking out the stories that don't always make the headlines. The more we know, the better equipped we are to make a difference in our communities and beyond. Let me know if you need further tightening or adjustments. And remember, the story of immigration in America is still unfolding. Together we can help shape its next chapter.